Hey everybody, Squigglemom here. Just wanted to share with you the first of a number of videos that I'm going to do on mask making, different styles of masks, and some of the considerations that go into making a mask. We are going to start with the most easy form, the easiest form, which is a basic surgical style mask, except ours is still a little bit more than just a single ply mask because we are adding a filter pocket. I will start by making a kid's mask. A kid's mask in a surgical style generally tends towards a 6" by 6" finished product. So if you extrapolate that and multiply it, because you're going to do a filter pocket, double it, so then you need a 6" by 12" finished product, and then you add an inch for salvages on all sides, so it's a 7" by 13" piece of fabric that you need. So of course I could cut myself a 6" by 6" square and then just add a ½ around it, and this is getting way too confusing. So I'm just going to tell you, for a kid's mask, 7" by 13", and I'll show you why. But before we start, you should start with fabric that is flat. Now my fabric is not flat because before you begin to sew your mask, you should have fabric that is washed, pre-washed. They actually say pre-wash a couple of times. I just pre-wash once. The reason they say pre-wash is that cotton, man, there's so many different kinds of cotton. That's a whole different subject. And cotton that is, sorry, I need a plug. Cotton that is pre-washed, that is not pre-washed, can shrink in crazy ways. One really good example is muslin. And I have a piece of muslin that I washed here. Man, you should see what it looks like. This thing, after it got washed, it has all of these crazy textures. It's really actually quite nice. I like it. But see how wrinkly it is? And if you didn't expect that wrinkle, and you just didn't wash it, then someone who gets your mask can think, oh wow, this is pretty cool, nice certain expected texture, and then it turns out not to be that thing. So you just want to avoid that problem, right? So here I am searching for power for my iron. Okay, now when you use an iron, it's kind of nice to have an ironing board. And here we are. I use it on hot because cotton is a fabric that you can use a hot iron on, as opposed to something like silk, say, or taffeta or something. And you're just trying to straighten it out. Theoretically, after you're done ironing it, after you've washed it the first time, then you probably won't need ironing as much. You probably get away with washing and wearing. Okay, so I'm only cutting as much as I need. So that's pretty much it. Let's turn that off now. Don't forget to turn off your iron. You don't want to end up getting someone burned. So here we are with the fabric. This is my cute little puppy fabric. And this is a 6" width. So I could kind of figure it out and then do 13 inches. 13 inches, which includes the selvage. Oh, I'm gonna move this. Okay. So this was it, right? Okay. 13 inches is like here, and then an inch over here. So I'm just gonna cut this way. Now I usually use a Sharpie for doing my cuts because, well, hey, right? Makes it easy, and you're gonna cut it off anyway. So let me get, okay, so I'm looking, 6 inches is like, okay, so we just go beyond here, like an extra inch, so that's 7, and then 13, and go down this way, perfect. There we go. All right, so this is the 6-inch mark. I just make a mark there. And then the 13 mark, make a mark here. Well, that was the 13. This is the 6. 7 actually. Blah 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 blah. Okay. So here is 1 inch. 1 inch. And then there we go. So this is what we do when we're working to get our kids' mask, right? I'll tell you, usually I don't use this really cute little fabric for this because this fabric is not one I can get easily, and it has all these cute puppies on it, and people love puppies. I have to try to figure out where my mark is. Let me cut my fabric. Like that, Bobbin. Okay, so just cut along my edges. Now if you have a pattern that's half of it and you have it folded, you're good. And usually I'm not drawing on black, so it's a lot easier to see. Black Sharpie on a black fabric, not so easy to see. Okay. Now if you're doing it for an adult, you would want to finish with an 8-inch by 8-inch square. So you would be doing 17 inches by 9 inches. See that? I added an inch because you're doing a 1/2 inch seam on either side. Okay. Then we fold up our old fabric. And I've learned this trick from my friend Linda. Oh, actually, so what I'm doing is I am actually keeping my fabric big so that I can get more fabric into the same little space. And the trick I learned from my friend Linda is that these little pieces are great for keeping your fabric a little tidier. Look at that, so cute. And then it stays together. I take my fold and I put it back in this little area right there. There it is. Now, to sew it, the first thing you do is you want to leave a filter pocket, and because this has a grid on it, you want to make sure your grid is matching up, right? Because it's no fun to have a grid that doesn't match up, right? Well, and I'll tell you this too. Because this is going to be the back of the mask, the part that goes against your mouth, you probably don't need to worry as much. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to leave as large an opening as I can get, and I'm going to stitch a 1/2 inch from the edge. So a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch is a whole inch. That's the extra inch that makes up 13. And I'm going to stitch a bit here and stitch a bit here, and we have an opening. Now there is something to be considered when you're doing this, and that is whether you want to finish this edge either by zigzagging it or by doing a double fold. So I don't usually zigzag my edges for the mask, but maybe in this case I might want to do that, and I will and then I'll stitch it, and then we'll take a look at it. But I'm going to shut off now so that I can go closer to the sewing machine. Here we are at the sewing machine, and I'm trying to give you a good view. I thought I would start with it threaded with the wrong color, because some of you may not know how to use the sewing machine. Some of you may be people that I have loaned a sewing machine to whom I have loaned a sewing machine, and it's good to start from the beginning. I have other videos where I've shown how to thread a sewing machine, but for right now this is what we're doing. So here we go. It's a black fabric, so I want to get a dark colored thread, either black, or sometimes I get away with using dark blue. And this is what you call the bobbin. So you put the bobbin thread onto the bobbin by winding it from the large reel. And I use a big reel because I've been sewing a lot. And it doesn't fit here on this, but it does, but not very well. So I've made myself a little kind of hacky stand that I just put it onto, and then it kind of bumps around, but it holds it without getting it too far out of the way. So I have a black bobbin, a bobbin of black thread, but I'm going to give you another one just so that you can see. And you put the edge of the thread through the little hole from the inside out. Oh, hang on. Right, busy day today. So to thread the bobbin, you put this like this, right? It's a little hole. Give it a couple whirls, and then set it on top of, oh, can you see that? There's a little spike here. I think you can see that. And then for this machine, there is a little knob here. Oh, back up. We use the knob to make the needle go up and down. Do you see it's going up and down here? So we pull it out so it doesn't go up and down when we are winding the bobbin. So we have to hold this little piece of thread, and then we put it around here so that it's a guide, and then we just press. Oh, sorry. First we do that to engage it, then we just press, right? So I've wound it a little bit, and now it is secure, so I can clip this so it doesn't get tied back in, and then I just keep going. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see that it's wobbling back there, but it's winding. Otherwise, if I just laid it, it would go bump, 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 bump. We don't really want it to do that. So this is what winding a bobbin is like. Pretty easy, and it's recreational machine for sure, because I've been sewing masks and I run out of bobbin thread pretty quickly. Okay, that's it. So now we take the bobbin and we put it in the bottom. We drop it in. Some bobbins are drop in and some bobbins are front loaded. So for this machine, this is a Husqvarna Viking Emerald 118. Now we thread it. So whenever you use a sewing machine, there are all these guide marks around. So there's a guide mark here. I don't know if you can see that. Tip it over so you can see it. Oops. The guide mark here, it just shows like a little L. And it shows that the thread goes around here. Then there's a guide mark down and around. And then there's a guide mark here again. So it's basically telling you how to thread it. Some machines have a really nice little tool, which is like a threading tool. And it takes a little while to get to use it, but if you have, you know, really kind of not very good eyes like mine, look, it's already threaded. Isn't that awesome? So now I have to find that cover I dropped. And then I twirl this knob at the side. It engages the thread that I just had and it pulls it up. So there, my sewing machine is threaded. Voila, now I'm ready to prep my fabric on another video. Okay, so for this mask, I've just decided that I'm going to do a little zigzag on the end because, you know, it's a mask that I'm doing for you. So I want to show you all the possibilities. Oh, zigzag. Every machine is different, but on this one, I believe just setting it on 2 will put it on zigzag. Let me see. And then you have to adjust the stitch width. Yeah, see how that works? Perfectly, right? And what the zigzag does is it keeps the loose threads from coming out on the fabric. So you can see. So like this might come out because I didn't catch it, but then the next one below it won't come out. And then I can zigzag the other end. Okay, there we go. So my ends are zigged and they're zagged. So that means that I don't have to worry too much about putting this on, about it coming out. Listen to me. I'm half talking to you, half focused on what I'm doing. Okay. Now I line these up. Whenever you have a pattern on the fabric, you want to make sure that where the fabric comes together, they're aligned, right? So that's what I'm doing. Okay. So, and then we gave us a 1/2 inch. So there's a mark here, 4/8. So this is a 1/2 inch. So theoretically, I could do this much. And then I just follow the line, right? Now with this particular pattern, it's okay to, oh, put it back on straight. It's okay to not be exactly 1/2 inch, right? Because we're folding the mask so much, we could adjust it. And it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I want to leave as big an opening as I can for the filter. So yeah, I'll do just about from here on. It's a lot of loose threads. Different people have a different take on loose threads. Just cut it off. Sometimes I wait till the end. And then we do this side. And now I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term homesteading, but I think especially now, in these trying, challenging times, there's something very real about being able to make your mask, you know? We have the time now. We can give ourselves a little attention and make the mask that we want to make. Care about it. Okay? So there we go. Now I will press it open because this part needs to stay at the bottom here, right? So let me go do that. Okay, here we are pressing it open, but notice it's on the inside out. I just want to get this part flat and then I'm going to turn it. Oh no, I'm not going to turn it. I just want to press it open, right? In fact, I'm just going to do that. Now what's going to happen next is I'm going to attach elastic and secure it here, one piece, secure it here, and secure it here, another piece. And then we stitch it down and turn it inside out. So we're attaching the elastic and securing the edges of the mask with the next thing we do. So let me go get some elastic. So I tend to do more elastic rather than less. I've had enough situations where people asked me to adjust the elastic, and once you do it, you really don't want to have to adjust it. So I use 11 inches of elastic for the kids, which is admittedly too much. Well, I guess on this one it's ending up being 10 and a half. And then we just tie it at the end, right? Because, and then to make sure that the edges, the elastic doesn't come out, this is a little trick that I do. I tie it before I sew it, so there's more chance that it stays, right? And we can do it this way. Okay. Unplug so we don't keep heating. And then do this. Okay, a little bit here. Okay. Okay, that's it. Then we just stitch it up, and then we can go to the next step. So let's go back over to the sewing machine. And I need my chair. It's really hard to stand and sew, although I imagine some do. And just so you know, I've placed the pins this way. That's on purpose. If this needle hits this pin when it's going, it will naturally slide off because the fabric is moving in this direction. If the needle hits the pin here, it's a problem because it can't slide to the right and the left. There's no movement of the needle, theoretically. It's only the movement of the fabric. And so that can cause a broken needle sometimes. So we just try to avoid that by placing the needle in this direction. If you have trouble, like it always has a little bit of an issue getting started, I do forward and back a few times because that helps to like make a knot in the thread. And then you just do like this, like this. Okay, there we go. And that's the first one. Right. Now we can take these two pins out. And then I'll do the other side. So I'm matching it up on the 4/8 mark. First of all, let's see. Okay, that happens sometimes when the thread comes out. And I'm not exactly sure how the thread ends up coming out like that. But I hate it. Just, did you hear that sound? It's so obnoxious. Freaks me out. Okay, so the thread had come out of here basically. Okay. All right. Okay. Around, down, up. I guess if it's not there, it's not pulling it back up or something. I'll have to look that up. I still, you know, I've used the sewing machine so much, and it amazes me how it works. And okay, there we go. All right. Now hopefully we didn't end up bending the needle, because if we do, then it starts to give trouble. We will find out soon enough. Okay, not bent. That's good. So you see how I do the back stitch there, especially on top of the elastic, which is an additional stress point. You kind of want to make sure you have a little extra security. All right, so here we go. That's it. Almost done. Not finished yet, but almost. See how easy that was? And then now we turn this around again. And we turn it. Oh my gosh, so cute. I'll tell you, one of the reasons I don't like using this fabric for this particular style of mask is because it actually uses a lot more fabric, and this mask is a lot less expensive. We sell it for a lot less in our kiosk. But oh my god, that is so super cute. Somebody's gonna want that mask. Okay, it's not finished yet though. And there's a filter pocket for the back. But what we do is we fold it over, and typically you can do 2 or 3 pleats. This is such a tiny mask. I think 2 pleats are plenty good. Let me get some pins. Okay, so we do the same thing, we pin it. One of the things when you pin it, you have to make sure, ow, not to stick yourself. I did not do that on purpose, just so you know. Okay, And then you measure on this side, because sometimes it comes out a little uneven. And when it's uneven, it could be pretty obvious. So there are other ways to do this particular mask, to fold it. And I haven't really explored it, but maybe I will, because that's going to be kind of interesting, right? For you guys to... I really want to kind of start working with more styles, and then to see what happens. Okay. There we go. Isn't that so cute? Look. And then when they wear it, it goes like this. Now some of them we put the nose thing on so that it'll have extra ability to secure, and I might do that. Why don't I add that? So we have these nose wire pieces, and this is a 5.5 inch length, which is pretty darn long. For a kid's mask anyway. You just cut them in half like this. And then for these to really have any impact at all, I think the best thing is to... It has a little glue on it, so I'll put it in. Oh, gee, first I better stitch this. Darn it. Okay, first we're gonna stitch it. Then we can take the pins out. When everything can fit. Craziness. Okay. 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 And this next one. This way. Okay. Oh, I should turn on the overhead lights. Alright, so let's go back over here. And we will put in our... Sorry, it's... Tripod legs go wide and it's a little bit narrow in here. Lights. Yay, I can see again. Okay. And this is as deep detailed a how-to video as I've done in a long time, guys. Those of you who watch my channel will know I'm not usually quite as prepared as I am today. And we do happen to be in the studio here in Shoreline Village. And this studio, oh my god, so cute, look at that! Anyway, this is even the wrong side. Look, people. Okay. So, we're trying to make sure that it can be a little bit comfortable. And so let's see if this is going to need some abbreviation. I don't think so. I think it'll fit. We'll have to test it out on a kitten. Okay, so here we go. So this, if somebody wanted, they could sort of press it down to shape their face. So that's the idea anyway. And then I'm going to do another one at the bottom so they can press it down to shape their chin, if it works for them to do that. Again, this is sort of like new. I've done the top one before, the nose piece, but not the chin piece. It kind of makes sense, right? If you want to have a mask that fits, you let it fit at the top and the bottom. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. Okay, so we're a little long. Let me see. Will it go in? I think it'll go in. Okay, there we go. So that's it. Like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. I don't know, what do you think? Is it cute? Now it's not finished, right? It would normally be finished before I even put the nose pieces on. But once I put the nose pieces in, I gotta stitch them in place. Otherwise, the first time they get washed, they're gonna come out. So now, I stitch them at the top and the bottom just to hold them in place. And it'll kind of naturally find its line because it's got that thing in the middle there. Okay. I'm curious as to whether this is better for the wearer than just the fabric one. I can't imagine that it's not, because it allows a little bit more ability to change the shape and make sure that it's secure against your nose. The other thing you might say is, and this does look extremely long, So I usually tell my customers that I do that so that they can tie it and it can still fit. But I also have some little devices, and people have asked me about them, that we can use to, oh, here they are, to thread the ears through. And generally I don't think I'm going to be using them. It's a little bit of an extra expense, but oh, yeah. This way or the other way? This way? Oh, that's no good. Oh, sheesh. It might be made for 1/8 inch, 1/8 inch elastic, just so you know. Because this is 1/4 inch. I have black 1/8 inch. I didn't use it though. Yeah, it might be 1/8 inch. Ugh, this is hard. Well, now I know. Wow, look at that. Okay, I don't think that's gonna go in. Now I've kind of messed it up. Okay, that's it. That's the mask, people. Simple, easy. You could probably make 4 or 5 of these, at least 4 in a day, in an hour, right? And super cute, all those cute puppies. So again, pre-wash the fabric, cut it into a shape. If it's a kid's mask, you're making it 7 by 13. If it's an adult mask, you're making it 17 by 9. And then you fold it in half, stitch it, and the right sides together, stitch it, turn it, oh, stitch this, turn it, iron it, and then do the sides. And there we go, and put the nose pieces on. I want to see if people like this. Cute, cute. Alright, that's it. This is Squigglemom signing out. Here I am opening up at the Makerspace by the Sea. And then I said, escape artists at work, please do not disturb. He's just learning, easily distracted. Everybody looks at that and they're like, oh, there's somebody in there. And then they come around here and they look to try to see what they see. Then they go back. It's kind of fun. I feel like I'm on candid camera.